I mean, you're looking at a 14-point swing right here.
Yep. One namer is already on the trophy here for St. Louis, and this could be it here. And now maybe some frustration.
So instead of, potentially 31-17, you're looking at 38-10 with the third corner winding down, and that takes the energy right out of the sideline.
What a turn of events, folks. You could have not scripted that any better as far as the villain almost ready to be vanquished, finding himself in a precarious situation, and he fights right back.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, retry.
I'm going to retry that. 37-10, folks, and as you see here, pretty good crowd here at Loa Stadium. I think we are flirting with 20,000 here tonight again.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, I mean, you're looking at 31-17 possibly. Now you're looking at, almost a 28-point lead. You see the Mililani fans, some already is heading to the exits, unfortunately. Ooh,
yeah, you go down, instead of being down 14, you're down 28, like you said, and oh man, that's just so disappointing for such a good kid like Gabriel that something like that happens, and but unfortunately that's part of the game. You've got to play from start to finish. These little mistakes that we talked about, you just can't have. The ball doesn't bounce their way, and when you're the #1 team, you take advantage of those mistakes, and Mililani had their opportunities. They haven't been able to capitalize on them, and St. Louis has.
It is appropriate, guys, that we have an offensive touchdown, a special teams touchdown, and now another defensive touchdown. This is the St. Louis formula this year.
Unnecessary roughness.
Exactly.
41. Defense, half the distance to the goal, retry.
It's interesting, they called false start on St. Louis. Now they called unnecessary roughness on Mililani.
Yeah, Giovanni Lamua took out the kicker. And they're going to retry this again here. Napuu Noah looking to slot one through the uprights again. Again, to make this a 28-point lead. Truly, football is a game of inches, folks. And I think that play could just describe it right there. Again, St. Louis is with the 28-point lead. Guys, let's talk about this St. Louis team in the context of history. We'll start with Jarek here. This is a once-in-a-generation defense, some are saying. You got at least from their front seven who are starting, you expect everyone to have at least 4 or 5 D1 offers each person. I mean, how great is this defense?
I mean, I was here for that Narbonne game, the first game of the season, and from then on, I knew this defense was special. Just the way that the speed, the discipline they played with, the strength, and they're coached obviously so well. But yeah, you talk about that front seven. The defensive backs can just sit back and make plays because they know those guys up front are going to put in the work, so they're able to play aggressive, take chances, and you see it with turnovers like these.
And you see Kasahara here. This is going to be returnable from the 2-yard line. Vegas is hit. Again, that St. Louis kick coverage is just in another realm here, and now the frustrations are flying here. A lot of after the whistle shenanigans on both sides.
Oh, and a second flag is being thrown, so yeah.
A lot of talking. And this is not what you want to see if you're Mililani. You want to go out with some class. You don't want to show your frustration of this. You want to keep playing to the final whistle. But not like this. And again, St. Louis, being the champs, I'm sure is starting to get a little in their head, doing some talking of their own, and that's the emotions start to take over.
Vegas was on the bottom of the pile. He got piled on, and he was claiming that he had hands to the face mask. Let's check it out here.
We have 2 dead ball penalties. Personal foul, 22, kicking. He's been disqualified. Dead ball, personal foul, number 40, 15 yards, first down.
Wow, both penalties against St. Louis.
Yeah, amazing. So 22 is Shane Byer, brother of Chance Byer, the young sophomore
15 yards,
special teams player, ejected from the game. Yeah, again, just being a little over-aggressive here.
Yep. You wonder if he struck Vegas on the bottom of that pile. And then the same goes for St. Louis about winning with class here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. If you're a dynasty, you don't need all that extracurricular. You want to play with class. You want to win with class and show why you're one of the best teams in the nation.
And I'm sure the seniors will give the sophomore a little talking to after the game. That is for sure. Now Mililani here, down 28, 53 seconds left, still in the third quarter. Gabriel here. Gabriel has a receiver downfield here. And they're going to rule that. Nope, incomplete. Incomplete there. They did have a receiver. The ball was thrown over the wrong shoulder. And it'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and over here, I mean, Jensen York is pleading his case to say that he got it. And as we can see, he went there. You know, kind of hard to tell. But once again, I mean, I have to side with Cal Lee. And why not bring in instant replay, especially during the state finals?
Hey, if we're going to do it at one point, this would be the time to do it, right?
Yeah, I agree. And we couldn't get, I think that was Motoyama that was coming out of the backfield on that play. It's going to be 3rd down and 10 here, and an uphill climb here for the Trojans.
We see some miscues, a little frustration here, and that's kind of what you call the momentum swing of this game is when everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and that seems to be what happening here for Mililani.
Yeah, and being down 28, these little miscues, drops, they just compound, and it's hard to overcome.
Yeah, especially against a solid team like St. Louis. You cannot, that's what we talked about in the beginning of the game, you can't have these little mistakes because it will add up for you.
So now, Gabriel here on 3rd and 10. You got to think this is 4-down territory anyway. Gabriel steps up into the pocket. He has room. Makes a guy miss in the open field. 40-35 baseball slide down at the 36-yard line. 1st down and 10 for Mililani. I tell you, this is the moxie of Dylan Gabriel here.
Yeah, and this kid has heart. He's not going to give up no matter what. And if you're a scout, a college scout, you're looking for a quarterback that won't give up on you. This is the type of heart that you want to see. You see a kid down 28, doesn't mean he's going to pout and hang his head. He's still going to play like it's 0-0.
They go with the running back. Racing Motoyama is brought down for nearly no gain. 16 seconds left.
Right into the arms of Tuitele, and you ain't getting out of that grasp. I mean, he's right there. I mean, not just grabbed him, slammed him, roll him, whatever you want to call it.
This should be the final play of quarter 3 here. And when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, St. Louis, 12 minutes away from the three-peat here from Aloha Stadium. We'll take a break here. This is Aloha Stadium Star Sports presentation. We'll be right back.
Media timeout.
Trust is something that is earned. Island Insurance was started nearly 80 years ago for one reason: to help local people protect their families and businesses with affordable insurance they could trust. Island's founding philosophy, always here to help, continues to this day. I've grown to trust Island Insurance as my insurance company. I know Island will be there for me.
Island Roots, Island Values, Island Insurance.
Join the referee team. The HHSAA is looking for officials in all sports. Go to refereeclinic.com/HHSAA for details. The next football training runs from February to April 2019. Good fun, exercise, community service, and pay. Text back, get cracks. The HHSAA Student Advisory Council reminds you to hashtag try wait.
Conclusion, 38-10 here. Mililani still trying to fight back here. It's Gabriel. Gabriel weaves his way down to inside the 20 in the red zone. And don't tell Dylan Gabriel this game is over.
Yeah, he's doing his best, you know. Just sad to see him making a turnover the last possession, but he's coming back, showing the kind of quarterback he has, the kind of heart he has as a kid. Not giving up.
And again here, you wonder if everyone was on the same page.
Yeah, it didn't look like anybody was ready for that one, except the center. Kind of go marching to the beat of his own drum there. As you take a look at the replay, quarterback wasn't ready. His mouthpiece wasn't even in. And
I mean, but great reaction by Gabriel. I mean, making
again, that could have been another disaster.
Nick Herbig, another tackle for loss there, just for the record. 2nd and 14. Gabriel again picks up the blitz. Has a receiver. It's Chang. Touchdown, Mililani. Hold the phone, folks. Hold the phone.
I mean, there's no quit in this Mililani team, especially in Gabriel. Finds his favorite receiver in Chang. Great little post pattern right up there. Single receiver side. Delivering it right on point. Mililani not giving up.
38-16. 11:15 left here in the fourth quarter. It's a very cliche term you hear in these parts. Stranger things have happened, right?
Exactly.
If you're Mililani, you wish that full moon up in the sky right now is going to make things a little bit strange. That extra point is good as the struggle's over. Score now 38-17 here in favor of St. Louis. Now, Coach, is this the time to start thinking about onside kick already?
You know, with 11 minutes left, you just kind of want to see what your defense can do at least one more time. You know, put them on the field. They made a great interception, you know, a couple possessions ago. See if they can bring down this St. Louis team, get them a 3-and-out. And then you start to look at that because you're down three scores. You start pressing right now, you know, and give St. Louis a short field.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we want to talk about that Mililani defense. You know, they've racked up 4 sacks, you know, 7 tackles for loss. Muasau with 10 tackles tonight. So the defense is flying all over the field. So it's, like you said, the game's not over. You know, it is an uphill battle, but if we can get a good 3-and-out here or get them off the field within 2 to 3 minutes, your offense is still able to put up some points.
Absolutely. This is a Mililani offense that averages 36 a ball game here, so they do have their share of weapons. And unlike a lot of teams that St. Louis has faced through the year, Mililani does have that quick strike capability. You put Mililani and Punahou in that same category, and sure enough, they seem to be the teams that, for this year's squad, give St. Louis the most trouble. Now, this is a very high kick. They're going to let this bounce. It's a live ball. Somehow St. Louis gets it. Can you believe that?
That was an absolutely perfect pooch kick. Unbelievable. I haven't seen an accuracy like that in a while, and it took a perfect bounce, and I'm not sure who it was had a chance at it. We go to the replay here. Bounces right in front of St. Louis defense team, and he just whips it.
Took out his own guy.
Took out his own guy. That's number 55, Mark Pasternak. Ball right through his hand, and oh, what amazing turn.
The fortunes are definitely with the men in blue here tonight. And this Malossi Sam here, he will get 3.
So we talk about when you're, you know, the #1 team, seems like the luck happens to always swing your way. The fumble, the bounces always seem to go your way, and it's just frustrating that you're doing everything you can, still not enough.
Still not enough.
Yep, sports is a crazy thing, right, guys?
Absolutely. That's why everyone loves it. This is the drama.
Well, Mililani defense, if they want to add some drama here into this contest, they're going to need to stop them here in the next few plays. Delora has Sam in the backfield, and it's going to be Delora. Delora has a block on the outside, but he runs out of room. Fumble! This could be Mililani ball.
And look like Mililani has the ball.
They do. Oh, sports is a crazy, crazy thing, I tell you.
And unbelievable. Iosefa, I believe, causes that fumble from the cornerback position. We've been talking about that sophomore all night. As he comes up, wraps him up, hits the ball, and underneath, and scramble, turnover.
And look like Moisao comes up with the ball, but credit Iosefa.
Iosefa, yes. This sophomore has had an up and down game, giving up big plays, you know, but still 2 interceptions, forced fumble. This kid is playing, and that's good to see out of a sophomore.
Empty set here for Gabriel. Gabriel here. And it's almost intercepted. He threw on the back foot. Chang was in the vicinity, but again, averting disaster here. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was trying to throw that one away or if he was actually trying to hit his receiver, but dodged a bullet on that one, did Gabriel.
Once again, the St. Louis Crusaders, a defense, Tuitele right there, Botello in his face.
Well, they are going with the empty set here. We've seen Punahou with some success a few weeks ago, Coach. A game that we both did. Now they're going to set up a screen here. It's going to be Malapeai. They went with the big screen, but they only get a few yards here.
Yeah, what a play by Herbing. I mean, nicely called. It was supposedly set up really well here. They go to empty set, come back. But Herbing able to shed the block, make the tackle.
That's a big missed block there. Looks like number 52, Mikey Agasifa, just whiffed on the block and, you know, potentially missed out on a big play.
And it's going to be quarterback draw here. No, Gabriel actually faked. That could be an illegal forward pass here.
Yeah, it looked like he was a couple yards downfield when he let that one go.
And he paid the price as well. I mean, in the arms of Tuitele, he came here, he had something.
They might get him for a late hit here.
Yeah, he threw the ball at the 40. Now the line of scrimmage was around the 41.
Illegal forward pass, number 3 offense. 5-yard penalty, plus loss of down, 4th down.
It's going to be 4th down here and a big loss here, but you can't blame Dylan Gabriel. He's trying to make something out of nothing here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's a competitor. He's a fighter. I mean, that St. Louis defense causing havoc, wreaking havoc all night for Gabriel.
It's hard because that's also a loss of down, though. You know, it's a tough penalty. Instead of going down, you know, you make a play like that and lose it down. Now you're 4th and 12.
Gabriel again empty set. St. Louis 4-man rush. He has a man downfield and it's going to be intercepted by Figgins. Figgins is brought down at the 6. Penalty flag thrown. The interception should count, but if you look at it, it's good as a long punt.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we go up here. He's looking for interception number 3. I mean, that's like just a player making a play, but if you think about it in the long run, probably better knocking it down.
Now, we talk about Botello, we talk about Kamaka Vivole, Tuitele, all this. I want to point out some of this kid, Fegan. 7 solo tackles, 9 totals, potentially 3 interceptions if this stands.
After the interception, block in the back, 15 on the return team. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
So interception stands. That's 3 picks, 7 solo tackles. This might be the defensive player of the game right here, and we don't even know it.
And I'm a believer. When we played them earlier in September, I mean, we were marching down. We could have potential score, winning like 1 possession game. What happens? He picks it, pick 6.
3 pass breakups on top of that. This kid has been playing lights out, and, you know, we see all these big names, these D1 guys, and we see this kid on the outside, and Fegans is, you know, he's a senior, 5'9", 149, putting in his dues here. We talked about the defensive backfield and how they can play so aggressive.
Remember, he is taking over for Brian Cox, who was suspended here for tonight's game at that cornerback position. And boy, did
he's stepping up big time, huh?
Absolutely. From the 2-yard line here. And it's going to be a big handoff up the middle. And St. Louis is able to get some breathing room out to the 10-yard line. Around 8 on the, or maybe 7 on the play there.
Yeah, nice run by Sam. And that's what you want to be able to do right now with your back against your own end zone, being able to run it out of there, get some breathing room. Sam allowed them to do so.
2nd and 2 officially. Ball from the 10. Delora at quarterback. And again, it's going to be a handoff, but he goes nowhere. They may be generous and give him a yard on the forward progress. It's going to set up 3rd and short.
Yeah, now it's a big stand for Mililani. Can they do it? Can they muster up at least 1 yard, make a stand, get one more possession? They need this stand right here.
Yeah, what's tough is that passing option's still available, so you can't sell out one way or the other.
Well, the cornerbacks are bailing out on this play. Let's see what happens.
Not a good idea here. Those quick passes are wide open. You only need 1 yard to go. Got to play aggressive here, Mililani.
3 seconds on the play clock, and sure enough, it's Malossi Sam there. He comes in like a bolt of lightning. He gets it over to the 18-yard line. 1st down, St. Louis. Clock now at 8:11.
Yeah, and exactly. And with this run, allows them at least 3 more plays, probably 2 more minutes off the clock. Right now, time is not on the side of Mililani.
Yeah, and you know, this run game, so we saw Pakai go down with that injury. You know, he had 10 carries for 60 yards. Sam comes in as plays, gets 6 carries for 34 yards. So they're both averaging about 6 yards a carry. So it doesn't matter who's back there. The O-line's doing a great job.
It's going to be Ka'ohu Kamakabivo Ole there, the biggest of the backs, and he will get 1. But that's of no consequence to St. Louis. The time is the big key here. 7:38 and counting down. Now we have a Mililani player shaking up. Official timeout here. And that could be Olomua maybe. Javen Olomua.
Yes, and that's what it looks like, number 41, Olomua.
So we're going to have a timeout, injury timeout here from the field. 7:34 left in the contest. St. Louis up 3 scores. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back here. Javen Olomua able to get off the field under his own power here. And now 2nd and 9 after the Kamakabivole carry here. 7:34 left, and now Mililani, they're going to have to be playing some emergency defense here. They got to go for every strip, try to go for every interception if they can.
You know that St. Louis is a team that are able to run the ball. So if you sell out on the run, play the pass.
See Delora here. Looking at the play clock straight in his sights. Now under 7 seconds. 7:15 and counting down here on the game clock. And it's going to be another off-tackle play. But Mililani there. You see 3 or 4 white shirts there. They went for the ball. But again, that was a Kalabaya there with the carry.
Good job. You talk about selling out on the run there, and that's exactly what they did, and met the running back there in the backfield, and great job wrapping him up, not let him get any extra yards.
Yeah, it's interesting that we had a quarterback change there in Connor Apo. We know that he can run the ball. Maybe that's why
operator,
can you reset the time
there to 7:08?
Yeah, Connor Apo's biggest run was a 68-yard touchdown scamper a few weeks ago, and so he's more than capable. It seems, you know, you talk about St. Louis and the embarrassment of riches. That could be an understatement.
Exactly. I mean, Apo is just a sophomore. You got Delor coming back next year. Apo there. I mean, it's almost like quarterback U out there in St. Louis.
Yeah, a lot of people think of Mater Dei High School in California is quarterback U. They got a couple Heisman Trophy winners in Leinart, and Barkley also came out of there. Cole Brennan also came out of Mater Dei during high school. But St. Louis here, you got Mariota winning the Heisman. Tua is the front runner for the Heisman right now. Very well, it could be St. Louis being quarterback U here.
And Cordero coming in for UH a week ago, winning it for them.
He's already stuff of legend, and he only played 3 games or 4 games. Again, another handoff here. Calavaya again, and it's going to be 4th down here. So St. Louis trying to melt off some clock here. Mililani, I don't know how good their return game is, but they may be well served to block punt here. Give it a try. First, let's check out this replay.
Yeah, here they sold out on the run. You know they're going to do that, just burn some time. You have the luxury having
Mililani,
21,
last charge,
21 points.
Yeah, it looks like they're setting up for a kick return or a punt return, so I don't think they're going to go for the block. I think they're going to try to set up a wall and see if they can get a big play here.
Yep, 6:47 left here in the contest.
No more space in the hallway. The place is kaput.
Media timeout.
For Hawaii self-storage, the best in value. Plenty room and aloha. Come join our ohana. Uncle Jerome and safety, we always malama. Hawaii self-storage.
All right, and we're back here. Ryan Nagano, Coach Sterling Carvalho from Kahuku, and Jarek Lake here bringing to you the final broadcast of the 2018 regular season. St. Louis up 38-17 over Mililani. St. Louis wins. They're going to go for a three-peat here. Micah Topua will receive the snap here, looking to punt this one away. Mililani, they brought in 7. This is a pretty good kick here that will take a Mililani bounce. So ball will be at midfield right here. 6:36 left, and Mililani, they're going to have to score early. They're going to have to score often, and they're going to have to play perfect ball for the rest of the way.
And quick. I mean, you're looking at 6 minutes and 33 seconds. But the thing is, Mililani has that offense and the ability to score quick. I mean, if you're talking about maybe like a Kahuku, Waianae, Farrington, in which they're not prone to this kind of up-tempo, quick strike scoring offense, but Mililani is built that way.
When you look at St. Louis, they have put on their second and third stringers out on the field. Still, you could get all state players out of the second string.
Yeah, they'd definitely be starters in pretty much every other team out here in the island, so not too bad for a second unit.
Well, let's see what Gabriel does here. Gabriel stands up at the pocket again. Herbig. You cannot stop Nate Herbig off the edge here.
I mean, pick your poison. You dodge to Itele and thinking, yes, I dodged the best defensive player here in the state. And then who's there? Herbig there's to clean up.
You know, I hate to use this term, guys, but it's almost to the point the St. Louis defense is in cheat code mode.
I'm telling you, they got the Game Shark in, man. It's really not fair.
I mean, it's 99 all the way.
Absolutely here, and great slant route there and a fumble. This is the St. Louis defense personified. They are going for the big hits. They are going for turnovers. And sure enough, they get another turnover there after a well-placed pass.
Yeah, it's actually a really, really good pass there. It's right on the body. Receiver had it, just got hit and stripped there. And just an easy recovery there by Cambra Cho.
And it's very interesting. I mean, on that replay, I mean, looked like Vegas was able to come up with the ball. Once again, the controversy replay. When is it going to happen? It's happening all over the nation. But here in Hawaii,
little behind. It'll get there. It'll get there.
It's on Hawaiian time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Under 6 minutes here, guys. And it's going to be Apo handing the ball off to Ka'ohu Kamakabibo Ole. And now things are getting to be academic here at this point.
Especially with no timeouts for Mililani. There's nothing York and his staff can do but just watch at least 3 plays, 2 minutes going off the clock.
Hopefully you can get a strip. You got to present the first down, but first things first, you got to get your defense off the field.
Now, if St. Louis holds on here, St. Louis would be only 500, 6 wins, 6 losses in tournament era championship games since 1999. You see Kamakabibo Ole there. He runs upright, but he runs powerful. Gets it to the 36-yard line. Another first down for St. Louis.
And right now with St. Louis running the ball, it's just a matter of time. They're going to break one. You got the big boys up front. I mean, Mililani, they're not big in size. So, the weight of the linemen of St. Louis leaning on them.
It's kind of what
really
we saw
tough.
the last game with Waipahu, just their size just started to wear down that defense. And, it's starting to say the same thing here. 4 minutes left as we see another run up the middle.
Yep. Kalabaya again gets around 6, maybe 7. They're pushing that pile there. Talking about a big surge.
Yeah, it almost looked like a big rugby scrum. And, I mean, the weight of St. Louis just moved that pile. Here they had them bottled up, short of the first down. But once those big boys came and made a scrum, first down.
Connor Apo even got involved in that one. In rugby parlance, that would be the forward pack pushing that pile there. 4:16 and counting down here. Apo. Kalavaya again. This time Mililani diagnoses that play. Guys, let's talk about the Trojans here. A lot of people had them as definitely a top 3, top 4 contender here. Now they made it to the state title game. I have a feeling even with Dylan Gabriel, the departure, Mililani, they have really grown it from the ground up here, guys.
Yeah, and especially with York running that Millville thing out there, going from the pylons to the big boys, the JV, and now the varsity. You can see the fruits of his labor.
It's almost kind of like what they're doing up in Kahuku for a long time with the Leia Park Raiders. And you see Apo. Apo can run with the ball here. And Apo is finally brought down inside the 20. 3 minutes and 22 seconds left.
Yeah, and that was a smart decision by Apo. Even though he's a backup, he's a sophomore. He understands that as he's run this zone read, he's going towards the sideline. But what does he do? He cuts back, makes sure he stays inbounds, 2 hands on the ball.
And, you see, we talk about these quarterbacks and the depth of St. Louis. A lot of these kids know they're not going to get playing time in the beginning of the season, but they're there. They're in the system. They're getting coached up by some of the best coaches, in the state. They're there learning. And when it's their time, it's their time.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jarek. A lot of people can listen to the story of Chevin Cordero, who was under the shadow of Tua Tagovailoa for 2 to 3 years. And then Chevin, one time, has that one chance his senior year and brought home the title.
Same thing with, Tua or Mariota. These guys didn't start their freshman year,
That's right.
They're there learning and getting groomed, and, that's how you kind of build a dynasty is you keep the guys behind you, keep the young guys just learning, and it pays off.
Just tremendous stuff here. And again, talking about right option there. Apo waited to the last nanosecond to pull that one away. Probably pulled the running back with him on that. And they, again, will melt more clock.
So going back to, the depth and, with some of these smaller schools got to play both ways. Are we going to see any type of roster maximum or minimum or maximum here? What do we think about that for Hawaii State?
you know, and that's the tough call, and that's the controversy you have between OIA and ILH. I know in OIA we told that roster size because of our funding, we don't have as much, but ILH, the abundance of resources.
Guys.
That's right. Yeah, St. Louis has over 100 players, it seems. And our poor there gets chopped down.
So let's say, you know, if you limit your roster for a team like St. Louis to 60, you know, where do these other guys go? They have to go to another school, right? So your talent gets spread out a little bit more.
There's that parity.
But at the same time, you know that the enrollment is contingent upon the people attending, and they want more and more because they have to keep their monies up.
That is true. Well, you have a school like Kaimuki who barely can do 25 players on their roster, and then on the go right up the road, up the mountain, and you get St. Louis with 100 plus. And
you know, but I think they're taking the right steps in the right direction with the open division. You know, I really think that really brought a great competition throughout the state. We see some amazing games tonight, and I think it's giving kids more options as far as if I want to, hey, I'm going to stay in Mililani. They got a great program here.
That's a good point. As we enter the 30-second mark over here, it's time to give our players of the game. And for the Mililani Trojans, we're going to give this one here to Coach. Coach, who do you give?
I'm a fan, and I've been a fan all year. I'm Team Gabriel. And I think Dylan, even though he had some mistakes tonight, he just showed the type of player he is. Never giving up. There's no quit in him. I just wish him the best of luck on the next level.
Oh, we see a little
chippiness.
A little chippiness. Like I said, you want to stay classy on both sides of the ball here. Win with class, lose with class, as we talk about.
10 seconds left here in the contest. Jarek, your player of the game from St. Louis.
You know, this might come as a surprise for a lot of people, but for me, I'm going with the defensive back, number 31, Mr. Corvin Fegans. Just had an outstanding game. 7 solo tackles, 3 interceptions, 3 pass breakups, 1 forced fumble. This kid was all over the place. Again, we talk about all those linebackers and that defensive line and that front 7, but this kid really shined tonight and made it a nightmare for Gabriel on that side of the field.
Cowley on his way to get his 18th title in his illustrious coaching career spanning 28 years. His 4th in the tournament era here to go along with his 14 prep bowls as Paikai goes right up the middle here. 5 seconds
even
left.
on the so-called down years of St. Louis, they're still competing.
Absolutely.
You know, and it just shows that they continue with the consistency of the coaching staff, and it just pays off in the program as we see the kids getting ready for the big Gatorade dump.
Well, congratulations to the St. Louis Crusaders here as we have our second three-peat of the day. Lahaina Luna was able to three-peat in the Division II level, and St. Louis doing the same here.
They talk about Lahaina Luna maybe possibly moving up to the D1 division. You know, you win a few times, 3 times in a row.
Well, they beat every D1 team on Maui.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, they're competing at the D1 level on Maui.
They have a factory like no other on the west side of Maui there. Best alma mater, too, in my opinion. Just saying. Mililani will have one more bite at the apple here.
I think there's a couple schools who might have a different opinion.
Absolutely. Of course, that they should. School spirit, right? I didn't even go to Lahaina Luna, but I love their anthem. I'm not going to lie. So, final play here. And it's Malapiai being brought down, and now St. Louis officially the champions, the 3-time Open Division I champions here for the state of Hawaii. They should finish in the top 10, folks. Again, what more to say about St. Louis? First, Coach.
I mean, they've done it all year. It comes to no surprise to anyone here in the state of Hawaii. Hats off to Coach Lee. Hats off to the Crusaders. They stayed healthy all year from start to finish. And, you know, it's great to see Hawaii football at its finest. And three-peat, they're on the top of the mountain. They're the dynasty. This is what every program is chasing and now wants and needs to be.
Yeah, and you know, just from that first game, like I mentioned against Norbonne, it was a different feeling with the St. Louis team that this might be the best team of this dynasty as far as defense, offense, the balance that they bring, running, passing, just a complete team. And they were a runaway freight train the entire season. They're favored to go undefeated, and just spectacular game. But on their side, you got to give props to Mililani. You know, coming in at the number 2 seed and, you know, fighting to the very end, putting up 17 points on this tough defense. And great job there. And I'm excited for the future of both of these programs as they got a lot of really good young players.
Oh, absolutely. And just to put it in perspective again, Cal Lee winning his 18th title as head coach for St. Louis, his 4th in the tournament era. And this could be the most dominant out of all here, as you guys have mentioned here.
And I just want to mention, so, you know, coaches, player of the game for Mililani, Dylan Cabrio, 23 of 44, 259 yards, 1 touchdown. He did have 3 interceptions, but he rushed for 22 times. You know, of course, they take away the sack yardage, so he only got 13 yards, but he made some really, really big plays on the ground for his team, and he should be riding off into the sunset his senior year and being excited to play at the next level.
Yep, very excited.
Exactly, and, you know, hats off to Mililani. I talked up St. Louis from start to finish, but this Mililani team, I mean, they had their struggles in the middle of the season, losing to St. John and then getting embarrassed against Punahou, but they righted the ship. They peaked at the right time. You know, Coach York is doing his thing out there in Millville. And just to Dylan, I wish him the best of luck on the next level. You know, these quarterbacks, they're making Hawaii proud, putting us up on the map right now.
And you love to see an OIA versus an ILH team, right? We all talk about how dominant the ILH division is, and, you know, when we combine it, we see, hey, our public school kids are out here, they're working just as hard as anybody else.
Exactly.
And with that, that's a good way to end it here. On that note, first of all, we just want to thank the Aloha Stadium Jumbotron crew for bringing to you today's coverage. 3 games, that's a lot of work, a lot of hours logged in. We really appreciate it. For Jarrick Lake, Coach Sterling Carvalho from Kahuku, this is Ryan Nagano signing off on another great football campaign here in 2018. We will join you in January 2019 for some All-Star games here from Stadium Star Sports. Aloha.
Aloha.